Namaste, dear listeners. Welcome to the IWA channel, Astro In with Abhi, Oneness in Astrology and Spirituality, bringing in awareness by Abhi. So, we're going to talk about the astrological significance of Maha Shivaratri. So, on my previous podcast, I spoke about Shivaratri, Maha Shivaratri, the benefits of it, the meaning of it. But as you know, Astro In with Abhi is about bringing in the awareness behind astrology and spirituality. Astrology is in every Hindu event or in every event or spiritual event in the Hindu calendar. It's backed by astrological events that's happening in the sky, which is also shaping how you think, how you feel, and how the body is performing in terms of your different bodies, how the physical body, the pranic body, the mental body. It has a major impact on this. So, astrologically, how does the orbiting of the planets impact or bring about Mahashivratri? So, if you're a Vedic astrologer, you would already know this. However, to everybody else, Mahashivratri. So, it's presenting a chance for you to conquer darkness. Remember, darkness is the absence of light. So, therefore, it falls under Amavasya. So, I've done in my previous podcast the meaning of Amavasya. It's on a new moon day, but with no moon's light. So the sun and moon are so close together that you don't actually see the new moon's light. So the no moon night, therefore it's the darkest night. It's the darkest night, Pisces energy, Pisces sign. So Amavas, now represented in Kali Yuga, during this yuga or time, Shiva is said to have entered the earth not long before the start of Kali Yuga to rid this world of negativity. So the moon gets weakened in Chaturdashi, gains strength through the grace given by Shiva. So, connecting with Shiva, the vast emptiness, the darkness, is will bring you to a point where you will fortify the moon in your natal chart. The moon governs your mind. So, in your natal chart, depending where your moon is placed, that's your mental state of being. So you are strengthening that in your Rasi chart or your moon's placement, giving you consistency, endurance, perseverance. So the moon's association with you is your state of mind, how you handle stresses, and how you connect, your ability to connect with your true self. Now, bringing astrology into this year, we already know the moon is the regulator of the mind, your moods. Therefore, it's called moon, which governs your moods, which governs the woman's monthlies, which governs the day Monday. So the impact of the moon is weak at the onset of Mahashivratri. So your mind is not at its greatest. And if you've been following me, you would know that I always speak about dissolving the mind. When you dissolve the mind, the ego, you can achieve great experiences. Therefore, on Mahashivratri, the moon is very weak because the sun is very close to it. So on this day, when you surrender, it's very easy to surrender the mind because the mind is very weak at this time. And as a consequence of this, you are building yourself up. You are strengthening yourself, self as spirit, by dissolving the mind. It's more easier to meditate. It's more easier to connect with your higher power. It's more easier to connect to Shiva. It's more easier to break the material dimension by rising in energy and entering the spiritual dimension of absolute nothingness. And when you do this, when you come back out of your meditative space, you feel very rejuvenated, mind, body, and definitely spirit. So astrologically, if we look at what sign the sun is placed in Pisces Magha Nakshatra, the moon is currently sitting in Pisces energy. You've got the sun, you've got the moon in the very same sign. And they are so close together that there's no moon's light. Therefore, the moon is debilitated. The debilitated state of the moon, bringing it the darkish night. So this is how you get the darkish night of Shivaratri astrologically. All right. Now, I hope you understand how we get to the darkish night. Now, since we now know that Maha Shivaratri falls on a no moon night, which is the new moon, but a no moon night, the sun is in, Pisces energy, got a little bit of Aquarius Pisces energy during the long stretches of from beginning of Feb to March. So on this special evening, the infinite energy is supposed to be at the most elevated during this time. All right, so it's very easy to rise in frequency. It's very easy to connect, to meditate and raise that Shakti and become one with your true self. Your true self is, well, one with space, ether, moksha, the ethereal world. So you'll be able to actually know the difference between the astral and the physical world. You can understand it by by meditating on the great night of Maha Shivaratri. Now, the alignment of the planets on Maha Shivaratri. This is what I enjoy explaining. On the northern side of the equator, after the winter solstice, all right, there's a natural upsurge of energy on the night of Maha Shivaratri on a massive, massive scale. The two planets, Saturn and Rahu, they like overwhelm the Aries sign of Aquarius, going into Pisces. So it marks the convergence of the cosmic energies at a time where the celestial bodies of the planets are in a unique alignment, believed to magnify the spiritual potency of such an occasion. So you don't have to be a devotee, or you don't have to try to understand what Shiva is. You don't have to try and mentally speculate that he's some man sitting somewhere. That's you. You need to identify with you. You are sitting somewhere and you are connecting to your higher self, which is Shiva. Your higher self is Shiva. Don't try and think of everything externally of you. Mankind is it's very common for mankind to look at everything externally, which is external from his true self. But it's not. We have come from spirit, we drop down to matter. On Maha Shivaratri, it's a perfect time to raise back up from matter to spirit. So therefore, with regards to the planet alignments, it allows you to connect more easier than any other month. Because remember, the moon's weakened state allows us for a very dark night. So therefore, the moon governs your mind. Your mind is not at its highest. Therefore, you are able to dissolve the mind and allow your true self to take control. Thank you, dear listeners. Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Shri Krishna and Hari Bol. Jai Shri Ram. Goodbye.